Hi garden friends, welcome to the channel. I'm Era and this is Gardening on Purpose. I garden in Georgia, Zone 8A. For today's video, I'll be showing you a couple of ways that I protect my plants from the freeze. It's a cold and windy early afternoon here in Georgia, and per the weather, they're saying that we are going to go down to freezing in the wee hours of Thursday night into Friday morning, and we're going to stay freezing for a couple of hours. Normally, when we go to freezing temperatures and it doesn't stay freezing that long, I usually don't protect the plants because it's only for a couple of minutes that it's going to be really cold and freezing. But they're saying that it's going to be freezing for a bunch of hours. And because of that, I have a couple of plants that I planted up recently. Some of my jump starting videos you saw when I potted up some dahlias and some lilies. Those need protection. And I also am going to protect some roses that I bought recently. Just a few things that I feel like I don't want them to get beat up too much when the temperature goes down to 32 or 31. So here you see I huddle the lilies together, I put the leotris together, and I also put the dahlias together. And two reasons I did that. One is to have them stay together close so that I could put the protection over it, because I have this chicken wire over this to help with the squirrels and the chipmunks because they keep digging up my stuff. So that's one of the reasons I have them huddled together. But the thing is, lilies are tough. Lilies are hardy to zone 4 and 5, but because they are, they're bulbs and they don't have too much foliage going on with them, so they can't really fight off anything that happens to them, so I need to protect them. So that's another thing that I do. I also use a frost blanket. This one here is something I got from Lowe's. This one is 10 feet by 12 feet, and this is what it looks like. And you can just cover your plants with this. And you could use, like what I did here, you can actually use a rock to hold it down at the sides. And I'll show you how I do it. But that's another option I do, is a frost blanket. Another option that I use is if I have plastic. Plastic is really good because what it does, it kind of keeps the cold out and keep inside really nice and warm. And obviously you don't want to keep the plastic on too long, but I'll put this on now and then I'll take it off so that it really won't hurt the plants. You don't want to have this on for hours and hours and hours. It's just enough to protect them from that cold. So this is just plastic. You guys probably recognize this. This is just plastic. When you go to Lowe's and you buy stuff and plants, and then you kind of take this from the cashier area to protect your car. So I always keep these because you can use that to cover the plants to protect them from the frost. I also have a cheap little greenhouse that I bought from Amazon the other day. And right now, I just have some daylilies that I had potted up. These are daylilies that I bought from Walmart. I bought the Stella de Oro. I bought like a pack of 6 of them. And you could also use a little greenhouse to put them in and then kind of zip it down so they can stay nice and warm. And that's another reason I said the plastic is good, because plastic actually generates heat in there. So even though it'll probably have air coming in at the bottom because it's going to get really, really cold, it does give it some sort of protection. And again, these are new lily bulbs, not lily bulbs, but daylily plantings that I got from Walmart. So they haven't been really outside too long. Now, I could take everything and put them in the garage, but I just don't have the energy for that. When I first planted these things, I put them in the garage because at that point, 2 or 3 weeks ago, we were getting a lot of cold. So I was really trying to protect them. But now it's only going to be for a couple hours, and I just don't have the energy to take everything, because tonight into tomorrow morning is the only time it's going to get really cold. After that day, after Friday morning, we're going to have such nice temperatures. I don't think it's worth it to just carrying these in the garage, bring them out on Friday morning. So I'm going to leave them out and protect them. So I have some rocks that I'm going to use to hold down the plastic and hold down the frost blanket. I also have these guys here. You probably saw a video of mine where I showed you earlier on in the year when we were really cold and how I protect my plants. These are just little containers that when you buy stuff, you kind of you hold on to some of them because You never know when you're going to need them. And this is a prime example for you to use this and again create some uh, um, difference in the temperature. So, for example, here's a 3 gallon of a Southern Living Plant Collection plant that I bought. And let's say I wanted to protect this rose, which I'm not going to protect because I think the roses are quite fine. Let's say I wanted to protect this rose, right? All I do really is just take the container and cover it. And what it does, it creates a little microclimate in there. It's going to be nice and warm in there, but you also have these holes to give circulation. Again, this is only temporary. You're not hurting the plant. You're just protecting the foliage and you're protecting it from that freeze that it's not accustomed to. But again, for the roses, I won't do it, but this is just an option. You come outside the next day, you take it off and you let the plant breathe. Now, all the plants in my beds, they're fine. These are all comeback, so I don't have to protect anything that's actually in the beds. Everybody are comebacks or have been planted for a while and they are acclimated. So if plants are acclimated, now if you buy a plant and it was already outside and it doesn't have, it was already outside all this time, then the plant doesn't need protection because it's acclimated to the weather. Now, if you go to the store and you buy a nice pretty plant with a bunch of flowers on it, and then this freeze hits, it's actually going to hurt that plant. So you kind of have to make a decision as to what you want to protect, what stays inside, what you want to not plant until your last frost date. Here's an example of a plant that I would use the old containers that I have upside down on it. This one is a German bearded iris. This is something I got from Home Depot a couple of years ago, and they bloom really nice. It's really, really nice, deep, gorgeous purple. And I recently transplanted it in the last 7 days. So it's not rooted in. It is still in transplant, limbo. So even though they are hardy, the fact that they're not planted that deep and the rhizome is kind of showing, I will just use this 3-gallon container that I bought some sort of plant from Southern Living Plant Collection, and I just cover it. And again, it will create a little microclimate in there. It has the holes in the container to give it some room to breathe. And then once I get up in the morning, I will come out and remove it. Here's an example of a plant that I just bought from Lowe's. It's all budded up and it's actually flowering. This is the Homestead Purple Verbena. This is a perennial that I have in my yard already that does really, really well. So because we're going to be freezing down to 30 something degrees, this plant is going to get zapped. So for this one, I will actually bring it into my screened in porch closer to the house so you can get a little bit warmth of the house. My screened in porch it actually acts as another level of protection from the cold, and I don't want these things to get zapped, because if they do get zapped, it's going to knock the plant back a little bit and it won't bloom when it's supposed to, probably delay the blooms, and I don't want to do that. So that's another thing you can do, is just bring it inside or bring it into another area that doesn't get the bad temperature when it does really hit early on Friday morning. Again, this is the beautiful Purple Homestead Verbena. One last thing, guys, remember to water all your container plants that are outside before it actually freezes. So I'll make sure that I water all these roses, make sure I water this brand new Yoshino cherry tree that I planted, and make sure your plants are mulched. Because again, mulch acts as another barrier to help the plant not be damaged too much in the cold. Let me know what you think, guys. Let me know what your process is. What do you do usually when it's going to freeze and you're trying to protect your plants, especially plants you've recently bought, or maybe your expensive plants that you don't want to, get damaged too much. Let me know what you think, guys. Please like, please share, please subscribe. Remember to hit that notification bell so you can be alerted on all my new videos. I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.